Welcome to Wednesday Web Chat. This is Carl Lewis, your host from Vision33, just like always. And today, my guest from Vision33 as well is my good friend, Carlos Aparicio. Carlos is going to be talking to us about what I call a security update, or if you want to give it a subtitle, how to protect your business from a disaster.
Well, thank you for the invite. Much appreciated, Carl. It's always good to get connected with you and our customers. So appreciate the time. Today, we just wanted to chat a little bit about being prepared or preparing your business for any type of disaster. And, that could be something as simple as a power failure, as complex as, your premises burns down or has a catastrophic failure of any type. And we just wanted to touch base a little bit on how we recommend mitigating some of these circumstances. Our go-to solution is moving to the cloud or having some sort of a off-premises solution that addresses the data integrity of your SAP Business One data. The data that SAP or ERP system collects is, at the heart of your business. It's such things as very basic things such as customer information, financial records, and transactional databases, which host tons of information, and they're the lifeblood of your business. And I'm sure none of us could imagine what it would be like to not have that. So it's extremely important that we understand the risks that we're trying to mitigate here. What would you do if you lost all this data? How would your business survive complete data loss? These are tough questions, but these are important questions to ask. And part of that is the ever present ransomware. Some of the questions that are out there is who's targeted, and I always say everyone is a target, whether that's at a personal level, at a business level, at an employee level. Everyone is a target of ransomware. I will say that is the fastest growing business. And when I say business, I literally mean it's a legitimate business. There are people that have large organizations that are in various parts of the world. That is their core business. They plan for it, much like you would have a business plan for your business. They have a business plan for ransomware, and everyone in the world is a target. What can you do to protect yourself? What can businesses do to protect themselves? And really, the simplest thing is backup and disaster recovery. It's the number one solution. There's just no way of mitigating it. I always say it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And the only thing we can do is to be prepared for it. And it's, for that, it's really in relation to everything, whether it's ransomware or a natural disaster that occurs, or unmitigating circumstances of failure of an on-premise solution. Okay, what should be the goal of any business for a continuity plan? I didn't want to get too far into it, but there are certain things that should be considered, and that is having a disaster recovery plan, a DRP, to restore operability to the system that is mission critical to your business processes. In this case, your ERP system. The objective of this is for an organization to return to normal operation as soon as possible. And since many mission critical business processes depend on the technology infrastructure that consists of things such as, not just the infrastructure, the data, the application, talked about the infrastructure, which could also mean IT hardware, meaning if your infrastructure internally, for whatever reason, is compromised, do you have an extra set of infrastructure sitting somewhere that you can make use of it? And I say that tongue in cheek a bit, but in today's day and age of supply chain constraints, we often used to say in the industry that getting new hardware, new infrastructure was a 2 to 4 week turnaround time. I would say that unfortunately today we're looking at 4 to 6 months, and that's realistic. And that sounds a bit scary, but it's no different than any of the other supply chains, and whether that's cars, computer chips, whatever that may be, it has had an impact on the industry as a whole. And in my opinion, I don't think we'll go back to the days of having infrastructure sitting in a warehouse somewhere waiting for someone to need it and to purchase it. I don't think manufacturers will go back to that way of running their business. Part of that DR plan is also to understand from a business perspective what your recovery point objective is. And a recovery point objective is the interval of time that might pass during a disruption before the data or the quantity of data that you can lose. And I know that sounds kind of like we don't want to lose any data, but there is a point in time. In other words, do I want a backup that goes back 2 minutes, or do I want a backup that goes back 2 days? And as a business, setting that recovery point objective means that you need to internally discuss that and understand what the ramifications of that are. And that is if it's week-old data, well, it's week-old data. If you need data that you can't have any data loss, then there's a price associated with that and needs to be planned for. Okay. And the other one is understanding the tolerance. What is the recovery time objective? How long can it be for you to bring that recovery plan into action and the data recovered and be back in business? And that's part of that discussion that I just mentioned about having supply chain issues. If you're an on-premise deployment, that could be part of that planning. It could be planned as a move to the cloud. We recommend highly that our customers be in the cloud. We have our own cloud offering where everything is taken care of in the back end. The solution is complete and has a disaster recovery, both from an RPO and an RTO perspective. It's extremely important. And it's really to restore the operability of the system that runs your business day to day.